All right, once you have completed steps 1 through 4, it's time to take your algorithm and interpret it into the language that you are programming, in this case Java. I'm going to paste it into my development environment. And it's not going to be in Java, so it's going to cause some errors right off the bat. So I'm going to take each line and I'm going to interpret it into Java. First, it's going to need some things in front, so public saying that it can be used from anywhere, and then double because it's going to return something that's not exactly a whole number. It's going to be a weight. It could be less than a pound or more than a pound, just a little bit more than a pound. This is the name of the function. And then the reason why these are italicized is because it doesn't recognize them. We've got to tell them what they are. So the weight is going to be a double because it's not necessarily a whole number. And the new item weight is going to be a double because maybe it's less than a pound, maybe it's a little more than a pound. And the new item quantity is going to be an integer. I suppose you could get half of an apple, but in this game, it's going to be a whole apple that you're going to get. And then you have to make the curly braces to put the function in. I can copy and paste the rest of the algorithm in there. You see it doesn't recognize it because it's not in Java code. Java doesn't recognize the word then for that purpose, or is, or. So I'm going to turn that into Java's, what means or in Java. And if shouldn't be all capitalized. So you go through each line here and you change it so that it will be recognized in the language you're using. And then once that's done, it's going to look like this right here. Once you have finished interpreting your algorithm into Java or whatever language you're writing, it's time to do the next step, which is to create the test cases. That would be taking the test matrix that you created in earlier steps and testing each column in your test matrix. Right here is where we've done that in the file called inventory control test Java. Here you see the first test case. It says the current weight is 15, the new weight is 2, the new item quantity is 2, and the expected result would be 15 plus 2 times 2, which would be 19. That's the expected result. And then you do that for each test case in your matrix. And in this case, current weight is 16, new weight is 2, but the quantity is negative. So that should return an error of -1. So once you go through your table and create each test case, then you can test the file. You can already see that I did. And test pass 100%. So it's saying that each of the test cases in the test file came back 100%. And that's the same for each of the different test cases created in the inventory control. And once you have successfully tested everything, you go on to the next step, which is to first you would pull. I'm not going to actually do it, just to make sure that you're current. Then you would commit, and then you would push. And that completes the 7 steps of writing a function.